Hello, good afternoon. We're Electra, a company that's going to harness current and future technology with an innovative mobile app to make owning an electrical vehicle easy and rewarding. There are currently 1,300 electrical vehicles on the road in Victoria. This figure is set to jump to 3 million by 2030. This jump to 3 million will severely impact the existing electrical network and will have a massive change on individual customers' energy demands. Before we get onto that, I'm going to pass you over to my colleague Hench, and he's going to look into why EVs are not yet popular in Australia.
Look, I'd first like to point out that although EVs haven't taken off in Australia, they've taken off in California, for example. There's already 1 million registered EV cars on their roads already, and that number is forecast to increase in the future. And so with the case of Australia, it's a lot like the chicken or the egg scenario, where on one hand, if you don't have the infrastructure in place, nobody's going to go ahead and go buy EV vehicles because there's no infrastructure. But on the other hand, government won't go regulating the market and implementing rebate schemes if there are no EVs on the road. So there's kind of a mismatch between those two things. And so what we're proposing to do is to implement something that will not only drive it from the grassroots level, but also bring it from a top-down level from the government side of things.
Cheers, Hench. You mentioned introducing new infrastructure. Whereabouts would that be?
If we assess the California market, for example, they looked at two different things. They looked at the demographics and the geographics of the EV owners, and they identified 4 different categories that was common between high uptake of EV. That was the residential growth rates of the properties, the distance from the CBD, and the average number of vehicles per household, as well as the availability of street parking. And if we applied those same 4 metrics to what we have in Melbourne, we've identified these 5 areas to service the high growth of EVs in the future, and that's where you could implement infrastructure. Cheers,
Hench. Jack, can you tell us a bit about how EVs will impact the current electrical infrastructure and what's an existing electrical network?
Sure. The EV project is the world's largest electric vehicle infrastructure demonstration project, and it was based in the United States, and it looked at the behaviours and habits of 8,300 electric vehicles and 13,000 public and private charging stations. It found, if we go to the graph, it found that the majority of users of electric vehicles began to plug in their electric cars to charge when they got home from work. There was then a big spike at midnight, which is when the off-peak pricing structures, as seen in Victoria and other states in Australia, but specifically in the United States, many states, the off-peak pricing structure means that it's a more affordable time to be charging your electric vehicle. It's also a time when there's less impact on the electricity network.
Excellent. So how much cheaper is an EV car compared to a petrol car, and are there any environmental benefits?
Well, the EV project also it compared a Nissan Leaf, which is an all-electric vehicle, with a typical petrol sedan, and it found that an average motorist travelling 20,000 kilometres a year would save approximately $125 a month, or a 75% saving to the hip pocket. There was also a 34% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. This is only set to rise with the uptake of renewable energy sources in the electricity industry.
Nice one. Cheers, Jack. Hayden, can you tell us how the Electra app is innovative, and how's it going to encourage people to buy an EV car over a petrol car?
Yeah, certainly, Paul. The exciting and innovative new app and service called Electra takes the unknown and the uncertainty out of owning an electric car. Electra makes it easy for EV owners to charge their EV cars, to pay for their public charging, and to track their cost savings.
Most importantly, will the app stop me getting a flat battery?
Yeah, it certainly will. The innovative app can display in live time the amount of charge that your EV car is holding and the amount of range that you can have. An alert can be set up so that your EV car can tell you got 50%, 80%, 100% charge and how much range you have. You'll know exactly where the nearest trip planner is, so you plan your trip, that'll show you where to go, show you how many kilometres you have in the tank and how much charge you need to go where you need to go. You can find the closest public charging stations using our Station Finder app, which is integrated with your maps provider on either your iPhone or your car.
So the app allows me to pay for those public charging stations out and about.
Yeah, it's easy. Once you sign up to the Electra app, an account will be set up for your EV car, which is linked to every public parking station. There's no need for coins or notes. Your account will be directly charged for the amount of energy or electricity that you generate or you use from each charging station. It makes it easy at tax time because your account keeps all your charging records and all your invoices, making it easy to claim back rebates and the benefits of owning an EV car.
Nice. Is there any innovative benefits of the app?
Yeah, certainly the Electra app can alert you of the times of day you should be charging based on the electricity price, off-peak and on-peak times. The app also has the potential to be used in driverless cars, which are not too far away, which Charles will tell you a little bit more about.
Cheers. So Charles, what does the future hold and how are we going to harness that opportunity?
So we see Electra, induction technology, EV cars and driverless cars working hand in hand. And driverless cars are actually a lot closer than you may think, with many companies, including Nissan, Ford, General Motors, Mercedes and Audi making statements this year that they will have a car for sale to the public by 2020. In addition to that, induction charging technology, like those pads you can see at the bottom there, are already available for EV cars. So basically you drive your car over the pad, it charges wirelessly without any physical connection, and they cost under $1,000 each. So we see the Electra app as working to manage a driverless EV car in the future. Basically, if you're at work, for example, you'll click a button on the app and say, come pick me up at 5 p.m, so the car will drive from home and collect you, effectively removing the need for car parking at all. In addition to that, another innovation of the Electra app will be the Electra taxi service. So this will be like a modern-day Uber, whereby Electra users can sign up as car leases, and they'll click a button, my car's available for use, for example, when you're sleeping or when you're at work. Your car will then go off and work as a taxi and give you a second source of income. And other Electra users will sign up as travellers and click a button, pick me up now, bring the nearest taxi to them and serving as a taxi. So effectively what you've got there is a taxi service with nil labour costs and near zero fuel costs. And it will become the cheapest taxi service ever known in history.
Is there any danger of my taxi running out of battery?
That's not a problem at all, Paul, because it'll just drive to the nearest induction charging hot point or to the car owner's household and charge up within minutes and then drive on.
Nice. Cheers, guys. Well, I'm pretty convinced, but that's enough questions from me, I think.